The Insta360 Ace Pro 2 is now an instant camera. Yes, this isn't entirely new, but a few things have changed since the release of the small Insta360 printer 2 months ago. The printer, the Explorer Grip Pro and the cartridges were initially only available in limited quantities. That has now changed, and perhaps even more interesting, the Explorer Grip Pro bundle and the Flash Print bundle are currently on sale. More on the prices of the two bundles at the end of the video. But that's not all. Since the latest update of the Insta360 app, the printer can be connected to the app and not only print all photos stored in the app's album, but basically any photos stored on your smartphone, including photos you took with your iPhone, for example. I'll show you how to do this later. I've been lucky enough to test the Explorer Grip Pro and the Pocket Printer for a few months now. So today I can tell you exactly what I like about them and what could perhaps be improved. And fortunately, Insta360 sent me a large number of photo paper cartridges, so I was able to do a lot of testing. So thanks for that. Let's first take a look at the Pocket Printer and how it works. The Pocket Printer is also available as a separate accessory for the Ace Pro 2, so without a bundle. And it's very easy to explain. You connect the printer to the Ace Pro 2 via Bluetooth, and as soon as you have taken a photo, the camera immediately asks you if you want to print it. But that's not all. You can open the Ace Pro 2 album, and if you like a photo, tap on the three dots on the right hand side to print any photo. This means you can also print photos you took without the printer being connected. Basically, you could use the printer at home like a wireless printer for your Ace Pro 2. But I don't think that's what it's designed for. It's specifically designed to expand the functionality of your Ace Pro 2 and turn it into a mobile instant camera. That's why the printer has a mount on the top where you can attach this adapter. Once you've attached the adapter, you can attach the Ace Pro 2 to the top of the printer. This can be done on either side, with or without an additional grip. You can remove the camera again by pressing the button on the front. The printer is therefore extremely easy to use. Similar to other instant cameras, the printed images are rather small, but I think it's cool to have something physical in your hands again, especially in today's age of AI and total digitalization. Quickly print a picture, share it with your friends, attach it somewhere, simply create a memory. And like almost everything Insta360 produces, the printer and the printed pictures are of absolutely high quality and can definitely compete with other instant cameras. A photo paper cartridge is very easy to replace. To do this, open the printer on the side. One package contains 2 cartridges and photo paper for a total of 20 photos. It costs about $10 and you can order it from the Insta360 online store. I'll include a link to it in the description. I've noticed that the younger generation in particular is enthusiastic about this accessory and often simply feels the need to be able to print photos immediately and hold something in their hands. And that's actually pretty cool. As you may know, the Ace Pro 2 was developed in collaboration with the camera manufacturer Leica. It also comes with several Leica color profiles that give the photos an interesting retro or film look. And to enhance this retro look even further, you also have the option of adding the Leica logo to your photos. As you can see here, you can print your photo with or without a border. Personally, I prefer the version with a border for this type of printout. In addition to the Leica logo, the camera settings are also printed, which also gives the whole thing a very high quality look. So what could you criticize about this device? Of course, and this has to be said, the printer is another accessory that is not exactly small or cheap. And you also have to charge it separately. As mentioned, the printed photos are rather small and have an unusual format. However, the format is similar to that of other instant cameras. And you can't just put the Ace Pro 2 and the printer in your pocket. It's too big for that. That's why the printer is available as a flash print bundle together with this high quality bag in which you can easily store the printer and camera. The flash print bundle not only includes the printer and bag, but also a few other extremely useful accessories. For example, the flip screen hood, which attaches magnetically to the flip-up display. Its purpose, of course, is to make the display readable even in bright sunlight. As I mentioned at the beginning, you can use the printer to print out any photo stored on your smartphone. It's really easy to do. Connect the printer to the Insta360 app and you will see a new option called Print Photo. Now you can choose between camera, downloaded, and album. If you select camera, you can choose a photo stored on a connected Insta360 camera, such as the X5. If you select album, your smartphone's photo album will open. Here you can select a photo, choose the layout, and then print. An extremely useful new feature. But the printer is actually intended for the Ace Pro 2. And to transform the Ace Pro 2 into a proper point-and-shoot camera, the Flash Print bundle also includes the Explorer Grip Pro. The Explorer Grip Pro was also released just a few months ago, and similar to the printer, It satisfies that need to hold something real and physical in your hand. The Explorer Grip Pro has a physical shutter button on top that you can use to take photos or, if necessary, start and stop recording videos. Similar to other point-and-shoot cameras, there is a zoom dial on the front. It should be noted that the Ace Pro 2 does not have an optical zoom, but especially in photo mode and thanks to the high-resolution sensor, you can zoom in to 2x without any problems and without any clearly visible loss of quality. This means you are not limited to the extremely wide field of view of the Ace Pro 2. On the back, the Explorer Grip Pro has a physical dial that allows you to change the color profiles. But if you want, you can also customize the dial's function. For example, you can assign the exposure compensation to the dial. If you remove the red knob here, you can also connect an external microphone to the frame. This can be useful, although I personally believe that the Mic Air is the optimal microphone for the Ace Pro 2. The Insta360 Mic Air connects via Bluetooth and therefore does not require a receiver that needs to be attached. On the right side, you can attach a wrist strap that can be easily removed with this small orange ball. But the Explorer Grip Pro is not just a frame with physical buttons. Unlike other frames or the old Grip, it has an integrated battery that significantly extends the camera's runtime. When you insert the Ace Pro 2 from the side, you connect the camera to the grip via the USB-C cable on the side. To do this, you must first remove the side door from the camera. The Ace Pro 2 will now connect to the grip. The physical buttons will become active and the camera's battery will charge automatically. You can charge the grip and indirectly the camera via the USB port on the side. The SD card slot on the side is only intended for storing an additional SD card and has no additional active function. In my opinion, the Explorer Grip Pro is great, absolutely well made, and if you like physical buttons, I highly recommend it. However, it also has a few weaknesses that I don't want to hide. Unfortunately, you can't transfer files to your computer via the USB port on the side, which means you have to remove the camera from the grip to transfer files. The grip is not waterproof. Therefore, if the camera is likely to get wet, you should use it without the grip. And similar to the printer, you also have to charge the grip separately. So it's another device that needs to be charged. But it's true, with the grip, the Ace Pro 2 actually feels hardly any different from a real point-and-shoot camera. If you like that, the grip is also highly recommended. The Ace Pro 2 is also available as an Explorer Pro bundle, which includes only the Explorer Grip Pro and no printer. However, since the price difference compared to the flash print bundle is not that significant, I would personally choose the flash print bundle as it includes the printer as well as the leather case and the flip screen hood. So how much do the bundles with the printer and the Explorer Grip Pro cost? As I said at the beginning, both bundles are currently on sale. The Explorer Pro bundle and the flash print bundle are reduced by 15%. The flash print bundle costs $490 and the Explorer Pro bundle costs $440. You can find links to both bundles in the video description. And only if you use the link in the description will you receive the excellent Mic Air as an exclusive free gift. Incidentally, this applies to all versions of the Ace Pro 2. Personally, I don't think these two bundles are for everyone. And you have to enjoy printed photos and a camera with real buttons. But I can understand the desire to hold something real in your hands. And as I said, if you're interested in an instant camera, or it's important to you to hold a camera with physical buttons in your hand, then both bundles are definitely worth considering. Because there's one thing you shouldn't forget. The Ace Pro 2 remains one of the best action cameras you can buy right now. And the bundles are only meant to expand the functionality of this camera. The Ace Pro 2 remains a camera that is very well suited for action shots, vlogging or underwater use. And if you're having trouble deciding between the Ace Pro 2 and the Action 6, check out my detailed comparison of the two cameras. There will be more videos on the Ace Pro 2, so stay tuned and see you next time.